What's going on, guys? My name is Aldeniro and welcome to episode 30 of my Leicester City career mode on FIFA 15. We're starting this episode off with a game against Brentford in the Capital One Cup. This is the semi-final second leg. We're playing at home. We won the first leg 3-2 away, and as you can see from our team lineup, we've made a little bit of a change. We've got Rowan Ince making his debut. We're playing with the 4-3-3 attacking formation, and we were just hoping that Brentford wouldn't really come at us that much and we could just sit back and defend and maybe get the odd goal on the counter or something along those lines. But 30 episodes so far is insane. It doesn't really feel like that long ago that the game hasn't even been out for a month, and I've done 30 episodes of this, so that's pretty interesting, I think. Last year we got to 218 episodes of my career mode in the space of 7 months, and within less than a month so far this year we have got to 30 episodes, so that's pretty interesting, I think. I'm interested to see how many episodes I can go on with this series for and things of that nature. But yeah, thank you for watching and maintaining your interest in all of those things. As you can see, in the 9th minute, Brentford did manage to get a goal back, and that would do a lot towards getting them into the final of the Capital One Cup, as it were. This leveled the game on aggregate. I don't know how the away goal situation works on this game, because in real life it's extra time. After extra time, only then do away goals count in the Capital One Cup semi-finals. So I don't know, I think in this game it's just away goals count, so at this point I am going through regardless because I scored 3 goals in Brentford. But we came forward in the 25th minute, the ball coming into Chinaglia, who gets the volley off. The goalkeeper pulls off a really good save there from close range, I thought, because Chinaglia is a kind of a clinical player. Like, his goal against Aston Villa did show us that. But in the 26th minute, just from the corner kick that Knockout swung in, we did come close to equalising. And then just before half time, Gary Mackay-Steven comes bolting through the defence. He slides it in to Chinaglia. It was actually towards Grealish, but he didn't run for it, and Chinaglia ended up smashing it off the crossbar. But encouraging signs from us, and they were all sort of undone in the second half. In the 49th minute, when the ball comes in to Odubaj, who crosses the ball into Grigg, who gets the header off, gets the ball into the back of the net before Kasper Schmeichel can touch it, and it's 2-0 to Brentford. And at this point, as it stands, they are going through on the aggregate scoreline, and like 2-0 on the night is insane for them. But Adubajo plays the ball into Diaguara, who plays it to Griggs, who finds Jota, who plays it to Diaguara, and the ball gets put just wide of the post. But look at this relentless pressure from Brentford, it's unbelievable. Smith comes forward, playing it to Jota, who plays it into Diaguara. I can't pronounce his name, really sorry. It's like Diakuagara, is that right? Diakugara. But anyways, look at this pressure on the screen. It is absolutely ridiculous. Nothing is slowing down Brentford's momentum here. They're having chance after chance after chance, and another chance from this free kick in the 84th minute as the ball comes in towards Judge, whose header goes just wide. It could have been intercepted by a player and put into the back of the net on its way in. But in the 90th minute, we came forward with Berahino picking the ball up inside the box, evading the tackle and belting it over the bar. And I hate him so much, and I hate this game. And we end with a 2-0 defeat. And yes, that does mean that we're out of the Capital One Cup. I want to ask you guys a question at this point in the episode, if you are still watching. What is the worst defeat you've ever suffered on FIFA 15? Because that one was mine. The board says to me that after that result, they think it's important to experiment with the team dynamics. Motherfucker, I did that. I played a tactic I've never even used that much in the game before. I played an entirely different team lineup. Like, fuck off. I'm 5th in the league. You can't send me a big cunty message like that just because of one standalone result. But we did get a transfer offer from Norwich City for Dave Nugent, which I was delighted with. And after that result against Brentford, I pressed the panic button a little bit, and I went to the board and I asked them for more money, provided that I qualify for the Europa League. So I'm kind of putting my job in jeopardy a little bit here, because if we were to slip down to 7th in the league now, because of the two teams, Watford and Brentford, who are both going to be into the Capital One Cup, a 7th place finish is not going to be enough to qualify for the Europa League, so we need at least 6th place in the league. But they did offer me 6.24 million, which is pretty nice from the board, so we did go on and accept that. A quick note about the Brentford game, by the way. As I go here and make a bid for Sambalonga, and I also made a bid for Tom Huddlestone, and we also confirmed the signing of Andy Watson. What I wanted to say about the Brentford game was that they were behind on aggregate, and they knew that going into the game, and that's why they went on this all-out attack. But because they were playing a sort of ultra-attacking system with legendary difficulty and the static sort of AI match engine on the game, it was impossible for me to break down, and it was impossible for me to get forward. It's not even that they defended especially well, as you did see from the chances that we had in the game. It was just that it was impossible to break down and get out of our own half because their pressure was so relentless. So when I said in yesterday's episode about the emotional thing in the game, that players now have some sort of emotional response, I still don't believe that to be true, but I do know for a fact that the only reason Brentford were able to beat me was because they played an all-out attacking game on a difficulty that I'm not accustomed to playing on just yet with this game, and there was nothing I could have done about it. And that's why they won the game. Is like they're better than me. All the AI is better than me on Legendary. Playing on Legendary is just about learning how to play against the AI, how to exploit it as best you possibly can, until you get better at the game. But that's just something that I wanted to say, because I know a lot of people will be like wondering how I can get amazing results against teams like Arsenal or whatever, but then I go on to lose to Brentford. That's why, is because they were so good. But anyways, this game is against Charlton. This is the FA Cup 4th round, and after that defeat against Brentford, I tell you, like, that defeat shattered me a little bit. Like, I didn't really feel confident in this game, and I felt like I was over trying at times. Like, even the team I played wasn't an especially weak one. We went with Schlupp and Zaha both playing, but Zaha comes down the left hand side in the 52nd minute. He crosses to Berahino, and Berahino gives us the lead, sort of making amends for the miss he had at the end of the game against Brentford. But I suppose it was a save. I can't really stay mad at him for long. But I was when Berahino missed that chance, I was just adamant I was going to sell him straight away. Like, I was absolutely furious. But he did score in this game, and that's something. He's found his level. He can score against League One teams, or wherever Charlton are. If they're in the Championship right now, I apologise. But no, they are in the Championship, actually. Fuck. Yeah, Berahino can score against Championship teams. Who knew? But in the 76th minute, Knockaert comes forward. A nice Ronaldo chop to take him round Royce Wiggins, and then a shot towards the far corner of the net gets saved. It didn't really matter. Charlton didn't offer anything else going forward. They had a couple of chances, nothing more than that. And we win 1-0, which I'm thankful enough for. And then we come out of that game to find that our bids for Huddleston and Asombalonga are they just don't look like they're going to happen at this point. I put in some extra bids anyway, just to try and keep the business going, but I wasn't hopeful at all. Like, you can tell by the amount of money that they're demanding for the players that they don't want to let them go, and spending, like, you know, upwards of 6 million on a midfielder is still a little bit alien to me, because I'm managing Leicester City and we don't really have a big budget, and I have gotten extra money in, which I do actually plan on spending. So we went into deadline day. This is the start of deadline day. We made an offer for Sandro, who is a central defensive midfielder from QPR. He's awesome. He looks incredible. He's got really good stamina as well. That was something that I looked out for. He's in bad form, and I hope that because of that I could get him for a minimum of 5 million, or for a maximum of £5 million. So that was what I offered. Because it was deadline day, I'm afraid of deadline day. The clock unwinds so quickly. You need to get deals done. I made a £5 million bid for Ki Sung-Yong from Swansea, because I think having him at CDM and Gardner at Cam would be an incredible combination of passing and defending and attacking abilities. I made a £3.5 million bid for Koyate. Going back on what I said in a previous episode where I said his passing wasn't good enough, I changed my mind. I completely panicked after the Brentford result. It changed the way I saw the game. I made a £3.5 million bid for Danny Ings, and I also went in for Nadir Chifchi from Dundee United, making a £3 million bid for him, just to try and find out what his price would be. But we get to the point where there are 7 hours left. Huddleston deal is completely off at this point. I'm completely over it. We get our bid for Ki Sung-Yong accepted. I looked at the bid for Asombalonga. They wanted $7.5 million. I just said no. I can't afford to spend all of that on a position that isn't really needed to be strengthened. Burnley rejected our bid for Ings, but Dundee United were willing to play ball on the Shifty situation, so I went to the transfer budget. I allocated extra funds for the wages. I offered Ki Sung-Yong a contract, offering him 35 grand a week, which would give us money left over. And I went to another transfer offer for Chifchi because they wanted 3.9 million. I offered 3.6. I thought that'd be fair enough. They'd accept that. West Ham accepted our bid for Koyate. More importantly than anything else, that is the position that I really want strengthened. I know we did get Rowan Ince in, but I'm not really overly bothered. Hull City make a bid for Swansea's Ki Sung-yong, and QPR wants 7 million for Sandro, so the Sandro deal is off. And as the clock continuously winds down, we find that other teams are interested in the players that we're trying to sign. Real Sociedad made a bid for Koyate, obviously Hull City made a bid for Ki, as you just saw. That's all so annoying about the game, but Ki Sung-yong does accept our contract. We also find that there's a transfer bid from Sevilla made for Assam Bolonga. We find that our bid for Chifchi was accepted, so I offered him a contract of 20 grand a week and the important first team player slot, which I assumed that he would accept because it was an upgrade from the SPL, or the Scottish Premier League as it's now called. And I left the Ki Sung-yong bid just there for the moment, and I figured I'd advance, see what else happened, because we had enough money for the two players that I really wanted out of this deadline day. So with 3 hours to go, Cheku Koyate accepts a contract offer. We get him in for a £3.5 million fee, which I think is very reasonable for the type of player that he is. He can play in multiple positions. As a result of that, we reject the Ki Sung-yong offer. He's no longer needed at the club, and with 2 hours to go, we were expecting Chifchi to come along and accept the contract offer, but there was no new news in, so we went down with 1 hour to go. This is the last possible moment you can actually do anything on deadline day, and the only thing that we found out is that Dundee United have accepted an offer of £4 million from Stuttgart for Nadir Chifchi. So that was that. I couldn't advance any further. It was deadline day bullshit. And the deal didn't go through, despite me, filling in the paperwork and all of that stuff within the allotted time. EA just said, no, not today. You can only sign one player on this deadline day, and it's Koyate. So we're going to have to make do with Berahino. I went to Chifchi and I double checked that he didn't fucking go to Stuttgart, because if they got their bid accepted and they got a contract offer into him and got him to the club before deadline day unwinded, I would have thrown my PlayStation out of the window. But that's the end of this episode. Let me know what you guys think about my deadline day signing. Let me know what your worst ever result was. I'd love to read that. And if you want to leave a like on the video, that would be much appreciated. I've been El Dinero. Thanks for watching.